Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show that never ends. We are here. MRC Tier 4 is now live and ready to go from the circuit in Mexico. We've already seen absolute mental racing this evening. It's been absolutely enthralling and high drama in Tier 3 earlier, where the sun didn't shine towards the end. We saw the rain come pouring down intermediate tyres and carnage ensued. Will we see the same in Tier 4? Keep posting, keep watching. But we are already getting dry comments. So we will have the sun, we will have it shining bright and dry tyres all the way. Joining me this evening, it is the second half, of course, that makes up the T-side twosome. Of course, it's Morgan. Good evening.
Good evening, Mark. How are we doing?
Very well, thank you. Good to have you back, and good to have you with us. Looking forward to this. This is going to be really exciting.
Looking forward to some more racing in Mexico. We've had some absolutely fantastic races this week, to be fair.
It has been high drama in all three races so far, and looking forward to this one. I'm sure these guys will not disappoint. They never seem to. We always have hard drama.
Well, you know, in Tier 4, I think these guys get the best spot of the week after watching all the other three tiers. You get to see all the pit strategies and stuff. You get to see what works and what doesn't work, and I think that puts these guys in a good stead if they've been paying attention.
Yeah, and we've seen other comments throughout the week, not just on our own Discord, but on the YouTube channel, of course. If you're watching, give us a like, give us a follow, and get your comments in. We'd love to have a bit of interaction with you all. And you're right, if they've been paying attention, you see how eager and how keen they are to get out there this evening.
I know. After the past three races, you just see how bad the time difference is between the mediums and the softs are on this track. And it's looking about a second, I think, the delta between the mediums and the softs. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, there is a huge one, but we're actually seeing a lot of people going out on the mediums already. Notorious Kieran first, want to start his lap. He's on the soft compound tyres. So let's see how he gets on. We've got a few stand-ins tonight. Red Car Rambo yet again in Tier 4. He's seems to be stable across all tiers at the moment, doesn't he, Ryan?
Yeah, he loves a good race. He didn't have as good a race in Tier 2 as we've seen him had recently because he showed a lot of pace, but he's come back for a bit of redemption here around Mexico. He
has, yeah. Carl as well. He's racing this evening, and I'm sure there is somebody else as well, and we'll come back to that. Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, Carl's just showed he had great pace into the Tier 3 race, just especially as the rain came down.
He did, yeah. He does seem to like those wet conditions, but now it's going to be interesting to see how he fares in full dry. Who else have we got? We've got SFR Energy Dan, he's in as well. He's in the McLaren. So 3 reserve drivers in this evening. Red Car, Bit and SFR, no qualifying for them this evening coming from the higher tiers, and they'll also get a good penalty at the end of the race. But who's to say they will not score points? We've seen a lot of DNFs over the last couple of races. Easy to make a mistake here, and it can be very costly. There's runoff, but the walls, the high-speed nature,
so even some of
hard.
Quicker drivers like Scratch Charisma in Tier 2, he was absolutely blistering the race, but one of the corners caught him out in qualifying that took one of his wheels off, so it's really easy to get it wrong around this track, and there's so many different setups of where you want to be quick on this track as well. It's so difficult to get right.
Exactly there. Do you go with a low downforce for Sector 1, or do you do a bit higher rear wing for this sector? We've just seen Vince come through as now our own Banshee man. He takes digital pole on a 17.4 on the soft compound tyres.
The
Watching
Scottish
Vince
Banshee in his car that he's trying to make out there's not Rangers F1.
And it starts already. I did hear Celtic mentioned earlier in Tier 3, and it was very quickly shut down by Blowhole Bailey.
Well, Gav might put some comments up on the YouTube channel, but it's not on the stream now to defend himself.
No,
you can call.
I'm waiting for him to join. I'm waiting for him to join. So we've got a few mixer tyres. Oh yeah, we'll definitely get something. It is Rangers F1, thank you, Mr. Bailey. It is. He has given it another name this week, and I can't remember what he's called it now. His car seems to change names every week. There's different title sponsors.
I'm sure he called it like Haggis F1 team last time I checked.
Yeah, and then it was something else this week. I'm sure he'll pop up and let us know. So, Johnny Smooth in the Williams, going into this very tricky last stadium sector that, thanks to Mr. Bailey, used to be baseball stadium that they drive through the middle of.
It does make for a really interesting section through the stadium for that slow hairpin corner that's really easy to miss a braking for.
Yep, there it is. Parkhead Cross Renault F1, that we're calling it this evening. Can we just make it something a bit shorter? It's a PPR.
Yeah. Rangers F1.
No comment. As TY is invalidated his lap and then gone straight on as well. Did manage to keep it out the bars and get it turned around before he went a bit too deep. So a few drivers bailing on the lap, a few invalidations. Very easy to do here. We saw some really high penalties in Tier 3. I think every driver had a penalty. There was not one that didn't manage to keep it clean.
Yeah, even Simmer got caught out right at the end there. He managed 35 whole laps without a penalty until the rain came down.
I know. I must admit, watching that really had to feel for him a little bit. He had some great pace and just seemed to get caught up a little bit in some of the drama and hurt him badly. I think he even got rear diffuser damage as well, which is, we don't normally see that very often.
Yeah, it's really rare we see like the rear wing or rear diffuser damage, but it does happen on occasions.
There's a big crash. Persmeister, the Mercedes, he's gone. He lost it in the middle section. The S's that we were talking about, Diego a bit higher downforce. Not for Persmeister, lost the rear and was just a passenger. He is already out of qualifying. That is so unlucky, and it's again, there seems to be a curse on the Mercedes this year in all tiers.
Yeah, the S's in Sector 2 it's a tricky sector to get right, to be fair.
It is. You can invalidate, and then you can also lose so much time through there. You just get one part wrong, it just throws the rest of it. But man, for Wasp and the other Mercedes, still going to finish his lap and get one on the board.
At least it looks like the car's been cleared pretty quickly, so...
Does man for Wasp pops it into second on a 16.5. Good lap. Vince currently with a 16.3. There's a good bit of field spread at the moment, but we've seen in many tracks this season that the track evolution towards the end really pays dividends. 4 laps currently for Mr. Kellogg's. I think he's bailed now. He's backing off, done 4 laps on those mediums. That's quite a long stint.
Well, you know, sometimes it's good to get the rubber down on track and then run the clock down a bit and go back out when the track's a bit evolved.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it kind of, we mentioned earlier, Gav mentioned it, that we've seen, and you mentioned it as well, the different strategies that everyone's going to be using. And we've seen a few drivers try the hard compound tyres, a few with the 2 sets of mediums, or 2 sets of soft with a medium tyre. And I think from Kellogg's, we can probably assume if he goes out in the soft compound tyres next, he'll have the 2 sets for the race and the mediums. We go soft, medium, and soft again for his race. And we saw that you run quite effectively, I mean, in Tier 3 until the rain came.
I think soft, medium, soft is the quickest strategy, to be fair. As the game shot me in the foot on Monday afternoon, because the soft, medium definitely does not work for that final stint.
No, I had to do the same simply because, well, I had wing damage through just unfortunate instant driver spawn, and it didn't go, and I unfortunately was right behind him and collected him and had wing damage early on in my second medium stint. I had to make them last about 18 laps, and the last couple of laps that were hanging on for dear life, especially through this middle sector, were on board with Chelsea.
So Vince looks like he's about to go
fun.
quicker in a second.
Yeah, he is. He's gone 2 purple sectors. This could be a good lap from the Aston man. Vince knocks another 2 tenths off his previous time as well.
I think that's the almost a Tier 2 pole time there.
Yeah, he's getting up to that time already. 16.9 as well for Chelsea. Good lap. Good lap. I think got a little bit wayward through the last sector we saw, going underneath the grandstand and then went wide out the last corner. But we've got a nice shot. He's out on the medium tyres this time. He's done a lap on the softs and trying again on the mediums. Back Mizo doing the same.
I'll tell you another thing that we found from some of the other races, which I find quite weird at this track, is that the second lap on the softs seems quicker than the first.
A few people have said that. A few people did say that, and they tried that. And it's surprising, to be honest, because the degradation on this track is okay. You can get about 10, maybe 11 laps out the soft tyres before they really are done. But then to use them an extra lap in qualifying and take that extra good 3-4% wear out of them.
I know, it's a weird one. I'm not quite sure why it works here with this style of track, where especially like you said, the degradation that happens here. But as me and Martin proved, that second stint on the softs just works.
Yeah, it did for you guys. The pace you had, and I was battling with Scott, actually the Ferrari of Scott, for a little while, and I tried to keep him behind for a lap or two, and then after that I just couldn't, and he kind of went off in the distance. Managed to get him back on penalties at the end, just was hanging on, pushing everything I had, and I was quite fortunate, to be honest, and I think his tyres went. But you're right, those softs, the pace that Scott had, and to then come past as well and make the gap was vastly different.
It is painful to watch soft drivers overtake on the mediums, because you just know you haven't got any pace there to catch them again.
Exactly, yeah. And actually, yeah, Bergen's put the comment, 10 laps, are you sure? Yeah, great stint from Bergen and a great victory as well in Tier 3. And 18 laps or so he put, soft tyre, 17, 18 laps. It was just outstanding. You know, that's medium tyre territory that he took the soft tyres, and really, really well. As Melvin pops it into third.
16.6, good lap.
Yeah, it is, and he's been showing some good pace. It's good to see him racing. I know he got a few calls. He didn't have a best of race in Tier 3, unfortunately, but I know he got the call and was super excited to join, so it's good to see him out on track.
For a big double hit in Mexico.
Yeah, I know. Well, I put my name down for, of course, people will be aware that we've now got the MRC X-Rob Smith pops into 7th in the Parkhead Prost Peugeot F1. I like that. Peugeot instead. But I put my name down and then got the seat, and and totally forgot it was Mexico again, and instantly kind of regretting my decision. But hey ho, we go again, and it's one of those laps. It's a short lap, but very busy.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Canada, to be fair. Like, you've got one big straight and a lot of technical sections and during your lap.
Yeah, it reminds me more of Japan, or even America's quite a busy. Quarters a very busy track, but obviously a lot longer. Both are a little bit longer, and you seem to have a bit more break in between them. Where it's an absolute onslaught. Like you say, the big straight, the second DRS zone as well, and then from turn 4 onwards, it's constant to the end of the lap.
Yeah. Once you hit that second set of S's, that's it. That you've really got to get all your lines right, because one miss of a brake zone and you're probably in a wall somewhere.
Yeah, you will be. Yeah, somewhere along that line, you're right. So Carl's done an installation lap, which he's allowed to do. Energy Dan's doing the same. He's obviously not allowed to qualify, but we'll just do his lap to get in and out and back into the pits. Make sure he's got his setup correct and his balance there. But Vince is back out again. Current pole sitter. He's got 4 tenths over Mindful Wasp, trying to get into the 115s. Will we see it? We saw the 114s, I'm sure we saw for Tier 1, which was monster lap times. It'll be interesting to see if we can get into the 115s for Tier 4.
That's why I'm quite happy to be in Tier 2. I never ever want to try and out-qualify those Tier 1 drivers.
No chance. No chance. I mean, I kind of thought, well, actually, I should have gone up last season and backed out. And I'm really glad I didn't. I'm having a shocker this year.
Same. It's not been a great start to the season with... to be fair, we've had some really difficult tracks in Season 6, but Now we've got back to some familiar territory with Brazil up next week and Australia.
Yeah, we have an Abu Dhabi as well, so we've got a few good tracks and exciting tracks coming up as well. So I think they'll be super competitive for all drivers. Baldy E17, as we've called him, he was 4/10 up and he's invalidated his lap in the S's. Exactly what you were mentioning early on. As there we go, Vince 1:15.8. What a superb lap that is. Another 3/10 he's gained on that last lap.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's safe now with that 15.8.
You wouldn't want to jinx it, but look at this. As we're on about extra laps, 4 laps for Gicky Matthew or in the Red Bull on the soft tyres.
I'll tell you what, Vince has just proved that. Look, he's got 2 laps on those softs, so proves that second lap's obviously done something to get him into the sub-16s.
Exactly, yeah. Now on board with Mindful Wasp, the sole remaining Mercedes. Is he going for a flyer? He certainly is. Let's ride on board. I'm not going to ride on board too much because we got in trouble for this from FOM. We're riding on board too much with a Mercedes. So not riding on board too much.
I'm still not quite sure what happened with that, to be fair, but...
No, so the story I understand is, unbeknownst to me, obviously in T2, I was focusing on my lap. Gav was on board with me, as we are on board with Mindful, during qualifying, and running through the track. And then we got an email or a message from FOM, for those who aren't fully familiar, Formula 1 management, who run the FIA Formula 1 Championship, asking about copyright.
I'm not quite sure what we can copyright in this game.
I don't know exactly, but I've had to cut away from Mindful, so I didn't want to, but just to save ourselves a little bit. I don't think anything's at risk.
I'm riding on board with Rangers F1, so...
Yeah, that's the one. But he's currently 3/10 up, is our Banshee. Went to the very tricky double-handed course. Takes a very tight line. He did, yeah, that one settled it. Couldn't get on the power as early as he wants, but now we are into the tricky section. Let's ride on board, see how he takes it. Lifts a little bit so he doesn't drift too wide. Takes that in 7th, and he hasn't invalidated. Lucky. Runs wide, doesn't invalidate though. So he must have backed off the throttle a little bit. Heavy braking into the final stadium section. Doesn't take a wide line as some of the drivers, but keeps away from the sausage curbs there on the inside. We know Gav likes a bit of the sausage curb chat, but that's definitely his territory. And there we go, gets the power down, doesn't get the oversteer, lets the car drift wide as he crosses the line and goes 5th. 1:16.7.
If I was him, I would have just taken that second run there.
He could have done, yeah, but right at the end now, right at the death, there's yellow flags, there's a few drivers getting out of the way, and let's see how his teammate Rob Smith gets on through the final stadium section. Runs a little bit deep, outside of the hairpin, as we've now had the checkered flag, folks. This is it, the drivers on the lap will be able to finish. Are we going to see improvements? Are we going to see anybody challenging Vince for the pole? Let's have a quick look at Melvin. He's got through, let's have a look. He's going through turn 3 as we speak. Runs wide. Doesn't invalidate though. Gets the power down. DRS wide open down the second straight. Going to get onto his braking. This is another tricky section, this one. Keeps it nice and neat. Tries to get the better line and the exit and the power down. He does that really well. Double right-hander. Keeps away from the sausage curbs on the inside. Lets a car drift, gets the power early, and then here we are into the tricky S's section. Runs a little bit wide in the first bit, rides the curbs beautifully in that Haas. Gets the power,
yes.
Quick exit as well. He is, he certainly is. How's he going to get on through his second sector? He's a 10th up with his cars all over the shop. Oh, no one got out of the way. That's really, really hampered him, and he's had to back out of it. Oh, that was so unfortunate. He was up on his lap time. He was. That was definitely easily good enough for second. As Back Mizo was the driver in the way. He's not going to be happy with that one. Like you say, he was up on his time. He was really challenging. That probably would have been good enough for second spot.
What's going on here?
There's a few... Yeah, just very slow going through. So, that looks like we are done, folks. Back Mizo bailed out of his lap. Melvin's had to bail as well. So, Vince Vaughn takes pole position in the Ferrari, a 15.8, 7/10 quicker than Mindful Wasp in second. Melvin takes third. Back Mizo in 4th. Night Shadow takes 5th. Chelsea takes 6th. Robin 7th. Notorious Kieran 8th. E17 in 9th. And Kellogg takes 10th. All on the soft compound tyres. And then we will have Gibbon, Johnny Smooth, TJ Goodyear, Luke Shard, Geki Matthew, Necromancer take the next 6 spots. Then, of course, we have got Carl didn't set a lap time. Purge Mice, we saw have a big accident in the Mercedes. SFR Energy Dan and Red Car Rambo round out the grid. It's quite a bit of a field spread in Tier 4 this time. Normally, we saw, I think it was in Tier 1, where there was about a second over the first even 13 drivers, and a lot more field spread here.
Yeah, obviously, I think Mexico is one of those tracks where you either love it or hate it, so with like the varying experience and obviously different setups, it's not really a big surprise that there's such a big spread of times. But we got Vince, obviously he's got the pole position time, but that's not the place where you want to start at this track, so I reckon he'll be under attack in the first corner from Mindful and Melvin. Yeah, we saw in Tier 3, driver on pole into turn 1 was suddenly 3rd and had to battle for that, so it's a long way down, get a lot of people in the slipstream. Yeah, and obviously I think he's the only one in the top 10 that obviously did the 2 laps on the soft, so that might affect strategy a bit if there's any collisions into the first stint, so safety cars might play in effect, who knows what's going to happen. Exactly, yeah, it's going to be really interesting, this one. I'm looking forward to this. It's we've seen the high drama in all the tiers, and now we're going to have it again in Tier 4. Let's have a quick look and see who has got what tyres on. So most of the drivers on the soft compound tyres. Gibbon in 11th, he's gone for the medium. So has Carl and SFR. They're the only drivers gone for the medium, so quite not as spread as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it reminds me of the Tier 2 grid, this, with pretty much just a sea of softs and the odds medium. So obviously people like Gibbon, Bit and Energy Dan, they're going to try and go for the medium soft strategy, try and do like the longer first stint, whereas everybody else is going to be aiming for that soft medium soft. Yeah. So as Johnny Smooth, he's been disqualified, had a bit of a tangle with another driver, so thank you for everybody getting involved on the stream. Let's have a quick look. Evil Lover, good evening, thank you for joining us yet again, great support. We've got Forza Ferrari, Forza Vettel, Tier 4, or Tyre 4. I think that's it. There's Ian and R the other way around there, Carl. Let's have a quick look. What have we got? Proscodonian Ford, 1 Peugeot and 1 Renault engine. Cav. Okay. So, Dean, yeah. FOM might get YouTube to take our stream down, then it'll be reinstated once the mistake's been noticed, and we bring the mistake up to YouTube. There was never a copyright thing on that. Gav's on with it. FOM are ridiculous as a codemaster for not exposing to FOM the situation. Yeah, fair enough. It is. We run a fantastic league here, and of course, everything we do is in full respect of the sport, of Formula One, and for someone to bring up a potential copyright, I don't know how or what we would have done for that. I think the term there is ridiculous. I think they're right. Yeah, absolutely. But on a brighter note, at least we're back to race week. We are. We certainly are. Fantastic. Going to be great, that one, just to see which team has made the most of the new regulations, and we will have to wait and see, of course, this weekend. Going to be some good safety car chat. Well, there certainly is. This year. So let's have a look at the position changes. Drivers lining up on the grid with a really nice wide angle this time round. We've got 20 people on the stream. Good to have you with us. 21 now. Please get involved. Now the last of the cars, Rambo at the back of the grid, takes his spot, and here we go, folks. The lights are going to start being lit. Slight delay. There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Engines revving high, ready to go, and they're off.
Great start from the Mercedes, bogs down slightly and then the Ferrari gets away. We've got Melvin coming up from behind. We've got Melvin side by side already with Mindful Wasp in the slipstream of the Ferrari as well. And there's cars 4 abreast behind. Night Shadow trying to defend and also going on the attack as well as the Frostman going. He's now got up into third. Mindful Wasp has taken the Ferrari. Now look at Night Shadow on the inside of Vince. A little bit of wheel banging as they come through turn 3. Side by side, there's wheel banging further down. Melvin's had to give way. There's a yellow flag further back. I think that's Purgemeister's had a bit of an issue. Red car ramble up 7 places already in the space of 3 corners, and now Night Shadow's had to give way to the Ferrari ahead. Settles into third. Good start from him. Notorious Kieran, he's made a good start as well. Up 3 places. A few drivers slipped down. Backmeasle, Chelsea, E17 and Rob Smith, they've dropped down a few places. TJ Goodyear battling with Rob Smith into the start of the S's. That's going to be a bit risky situation as... Wow, who was that? That was... I think that was Night Shadow. Went very, very wide.
Gaff went super wide there at the last bit of the S's there.
Yeah, but he's just in that position, right? We mentioned in Tier 1 the dirty air situation when you get to about a second behind is really quite bad, especially through that middle section. And already Mindful Wasp has peaked out just over a second ahead of the Ferrari. Again, 1.1 ahead of Night Shadow. No DRS yet. Melbourne will not have the use of that as he chases down the Prost F1 Alpine of our Mr. Banshee. As we've got further back Mizo and Chelsea side by side. Is Chelsea going to have a go into turn 1? Later on the brakes, Road takes a bit of the curbs, unsettles the cars, allow the Red Bull to get back past and keeps that position in 6 and 7. But also now Johnny Smooth looking to get in on the action. He's right behind all this lot, but don't forget, looking back, he's got a bit of a gap to Kellogg. He's not going to have to do it. Chelsea had to back out against Backmeasle. That's left him vulnerable. Johnny Smooth trying to take the inside line, has to take avoiding action over the curb, although that could have really been nasty.
There was a massive battle here in this train through the midfield from Ryan. Oh, his blade spun.
He has coming out of that section. Coming out the section, E17, the Alfa Romeo has made a mistake and spun. Necromancer's got past. Purgemeister had the issue early on. I think he may have actually already pitted. They may have had damage in that lap 1 collision. But now we'll have to go back to the action. Can't afford to miss that. Johnny Smooth and Kellogg's, side by side, actually ghosted a little bit there. Johnny Smooth gets a penalty. We saw him just bouncing over the curb. Gets the first 3-second penalty of the race.
Ryan's definitely benefiting from this little fight in front of him.
He is. We saw Kellogg get really sideways and then Johnny Smooth getting sideways as well at the last corner. Ryan was very smooth. The OS will be enabled soon, but look at the speed that Ryan's got in the slipstream of 1. Now he's in the slipstream of the Williams. Is he going to do a double overtake into turn 1? Is he going to go for it? He's on the inside line and does make the move. Is he going to fight back? Then now the other 2 behind us, side by side. And the Aston Martin has to give way in the end. Ryan up 12 spots already.
That was a fantastic move from Ryan there to get the double overtake.
It really, really was. And look at the gaps now at the front. Night Shadow still being harassed by the Haas, but now 2.2 behind the Ferrari up ahead as Manfred was trying to get away, but Vince just hanging on a little bit there, 1.3 further back. But there is that little bit. We've got Notorious Kieran still within touching distance as both the Alpine and the Haas run wide. Haas has got DRS. He's going to try and make a move on the outside at the stadium. No, not really the overtaking spot. Night Shadow goes really wide.
So what, the Banshee seems to be struggling for grip or even on these softs at the minute.
He does seem to be struggling a little bit. Now, it's one of those, again, every single tyre goes through this graining stage around this lap 4, lap 5, and then they do seem to come back to it. But we've got the Haas, the rear wing wide open. Gav will be using all of his ERS to try to keep ahead, but look at the overspeed from the Haas. Gets the move done before the brakes. Where is the Alpine? He's there behind, can't make the move. And then the Haas gets back into third spot. Double DRS as well, so you get the second helping. Means the cut back and the attack from the Alpine renders that one null and void.
His moves getting done up and down the field as back Mizo gets Chelsea. And Johnny Smooth managed to get past Kellogg.
Yeah, he has. They've just had the timing glitch, so we're not able to see what's going on, but I think there's a little bit of a battle. Where are we going? Geki Matthew looked at the course, and that is not. But we'll go back with the battle still going on in the outer reaches of the top 10. Johnny Smooth and Kellogg. Williams and the Aston. Both Mercedes powered. Of course, equal power footings in MRC.
So Notorious is catching up to the back of Banshee pretty quickly, to be fair.
Yeah, he was within touching distance, but we'll come back to that in just a second. As Melvin now in clear air back. He's passed the Banshee and he's now got clear air. Oh, there's a bit of a glitching going on with Kellogg. Actually, both of them are glitching a little bit there. Very smooth. Ronnie Bravo, he takes the inside line, but look at the overspeed on the Aston Martin. DRS wide open already, gets the move done way before the end of the straight, but look at this gap. We've got Notorious keeping 1.2 back Mizo, Chelsea and Redcar all in close proximity, all with the DRS wide open, all hunting down the Alpha Tauri, who's trying to hunt down the Prost car ahead.
Good all going on still.
It is, yeah. I don't know which battle to go on. There's a battle further down outside. We've got SFR with TJ there in a battle as well. Johnny Smooth not letting Kellogg's go, but there, look at that. What a move. Into, wow, and he battles back Mizo, Chelsea going into the SS section. Nothing was overtaking place, and oh, there's, well, nearly contact between a few of them there.
Not quite sure what happened there.
I don't, that's why I kind of stopped. And now Ryan's in the DRS and I think there's a little bit of touch from the Red Bull trying to get back, and there's a spin in the background. Who is that? That's Kellogg's has gone round. And Ryan gets the move done in the middle of the stadium section. Wow, that's a good move.
Yeah, it was
on the other side in the hairpin.
It's really confusing. Obviously, he sat on board with back Mizo and he dropped down to third in the S's, which is like a 6th gear corner, so...
Yeah, he did seem to catch a few of them out, actually. It was a bit of a strange one. I don't know if he just lack of concentration or something happened. So, thanks, Dean. Yeah, we would. But Ryan makes the move on Chelsea as well into turn 1. He's now up to 6th already. Bit of clear air as well he's going to have. So let's see how well he's used his tyres, how much he's taken out of them, and how much ERS he's used as well. Get him to the back as the gaps up front opening up slightly. All of the gaps about 2 seconds plus. As now Carl's battling with Johnny Smooth. Dean, yeah, we're not talking about purple helmets. We are leaving that to Gav. That is his domain, and it shall stay that way. We are not worthy to talk of purple helmets and the sausage chat. That is speaking of the devil, 3-second penalty as well.
It's because you mentioned his sausage, that's why.
I think it was. He got a bit overexcited with the purple helmets. Johnny Smooth with the second penalty of the race, only on lap 6. But he's been in a lot of battles so far. And now back Mizo trying to keep on the back of Chelsea. Let's have a look. How's his traction coming out the last corner? Seems to be nice and stable in the Red Bull so far.
Finally seems to have settled into a bit of a lull.
And I've just managed to take a drink.
What are you drinking tonight? We're back on the rum again.
We're not on the rum, no. I went through half a bottle on Monday, so we're keeping off that.
Oh God.
Well, I've gone for the Spanish connection for Mexico, so I am on the Sol.
Okay.
Keep it reasonably topical.
Are you not doing the Mexican accents like the Banshee?
No, I'm no. We're already in trouble with one company. I don't want to be in trouble with a whole nation of upsetting people. So we'll keep that one on the low.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just riding aboard with the Banshee, to be fair, and he's definitely struggling with some grip in that sector 2S's.
Yeah, he's really dropped off the back of Melvin now. 5.5 seconds already the gap as we're looking at back Mizo. Is he going to have a look? He's not this time, but Ryan's already closed down Kieran. The pace that Ryan's showing, which he did have in parts of the Tier 2 race, until he had a bit of, I think he got spun at one point, but he did have some great pace. He's shown it again this evening, but he's going to have the DRS wide open. The tower scheme tried to break the toe early. Has tried to go to the inside line. Ryan just keeps on the line and powers his way past. DRS wide open. Gets the move done way before the braking zone. Can take a nice line. And is already only 2 seconds behind the Banshee. You're right, he is struggling. He's dropping time all the way now. He just seems to be struggling. Right on board a little bit. Let's just see how the Alpine or the Prost F1 is managing to cope.
We got yellows in Sector 1.
Sorry?
We got yellows in Sector 1, not quite sure what's happened there.
No, we do, you're right. It's been cleared now, though. I don't know if a driver went wide. There's battles, as we mentioned, up and down the field. SFR's up to 11th, Geki Matthew and Rob Smith in close company. Gibbon and TJ a little bit further back there in their little battle as well. There is a field spread, but not huge. This is the biggest gap, and as well as SFR on the back of Johnny Smooth, but these are the biggest gaps, 7 seconds. Just seems to have a lot of understeer in that car.
Yeah, I think that it's only going to compound the problem though when he slaps the mediums on, because even brand new they aren't very fun to drive on.
No, and is he bailed? He has. He's now bailed on. He's the first to pit. Gets rid of the soft tyres. We'll have a look and let's have a quick look and see what tyres he's going to put on next. Is he going to go for the medium one or go for another set of softs? 8 laps mediums. In, he has gone for the mediums. You can get those at canny distance as well, so that's going to be interesting to see as we've got moves galore. Look at this. Notorious Game, Back Mizo and Chelsea, they're caught up big time. Oh, as Back Mizo tried to have a look and tried to do the double overtake and tried to take Kieran and got a little bit of a tank slap, a little bit of contact, I think. And that sent the Red Bull nearly into a wall. He's now put him at the hands of Carl in the Ferrari, who's going to be chasing down, seizing an opportunity. Let's have a quick look at the telemetry. Look at the ERS. We mentioned before that it is quite a heavy usage track. Actually, there was a driver, I can't remember which one it was, had just superb with his management of ERS in the Tier 1 race. But most drivers are using it quite heavily.
Yeah, it must be a bit of a weird feeling for Carl to be staring at the car he usually drives in Tier 3.
Yeah, it will be a little bit. But look at this. Wow, the Aston Martin all over the back of the AlphaTauri. Nearly went up the back. Such was the overspeed. Gets the move done in the DRS zone. Both drivers running wide. As so is Back Mizo. He's managed to defend a little bit from Carl. He's on the medium tyres, of course, so they'll still be feeling rather nice. So they've gone through that graining stage and they'll start to come back to him. Still have a decent amount of grip, whereas the soft tyres, as Melvin and Ryan also pit early, they have bailed on them. But look at Carl. Carl's got plenty of ERS left, to be fair. He's not too bad, but a little bit of a DRS trade. Is he going to have? He's using it all the way down, trying to get the overspeed. He runs alongside. Oh, he's on the outside line. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel banging. No damage done.
Some good defence there from Back Mizo.
It was decent. It was. Tried to push Carl a little bit. But they'll still have the double DRS. Another straight to defend. On the Ferrari doesn't seem to be close enough this time. And he'll wait another lap. I think Carl can afford to be patient though. He's, like I say, he's on the medium tyres, so he can go a lot longer into this race.
Yeah, it's one of them. They're on different strategies. This isn't really Carl's fight at the minute. Obviously, he's just the lead runner of all the mediums at the minute.
He is, yeah. There's who else have we got? Well, actually, he's the only one. Gibbon is the other. Who's now just got a 3-second penalty. Johnny Smooth gets another 3 seconds. Mindful Wasp speeding in the pit lane. Wow.
Yeah, both him and Vince have both gone to get rid of those softs.
Yeah, both come out on the medium tyres. Oh, there's a big collision! Big collision. Notorious Kiwa went round in the final corner and Chelsea hit the wall as well. Hopefully there's no damage to that Aston Martin. Doesn't look like it on the front. He might have got away with it, hit the tyre, but Notorious Kiwa, really bad place to go around there. It's very narrow. Just got the rear tapped out. Managed just to get himself round and pits again. So now we've got Chelsea and Carl battling for the lead, but Mindful Wasp and Vince, fresh tyres right behind them, as now Kellogg gets a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, Mindful Wasp was already all over the back of that Ferrari.
He has, but he's going to have another 5 seconds on his next pit stop to take. You have to say he's got some good pace.
Retired.
He has, yeah. So he did just come out the pits as well. So where has he retired? Yeah.
Looks like he's at the end
safety
of the main
car.
straight.
We've had a full safety car. It's outside of turn 3. Tyres are cold. Is it outside of turn 3? That might be. I'm going to jump on board with Necromancer because I think that's down the main straight, actually. It is. It was down the main straight. They've now just cleared it ahead of the safety car, but it was on the main straight. That's a bit strange place to lose it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one.
So, let's have a quick look.
Mix things up.
It is, but Chelsea pitted. Surely will dive into the pits. Will Carl follow suit? He does as well. This is going to really help Johnny Smooth. Is he going to pit? He is. So this is going to help those guys who haven't pitted yet. This is really going to make a big, big difference. This will spice up the order.
Yeah, people like Ryan that's only just put some fresh mediums on. And Night Shadow. It's definitely going to help the lads that pitted just before the safety car to get a bit of a jump on the people that pitted now.
Yeah, they will. Let's see where they come out as. Gecky Matthew hasn't decided to pit. He's done 11 laps on those soft compound tyres. He's trying to do, well, a Bergen.
It's an unusual choice, but you see how it pans out for him.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Maybe he was just a bit unsighted, and I don't know why he would have chosen to stay out, but nevertheless, he has.
So we've got Carl on a fresh set of softs and
Johnny Smooth as well, so they've gone for the different strategy, soft, and maybe mediums towards the end.
Well, Carl's just used this medium, so I wonder if he's going to try the medium, soft.
You'd think
it'll be a bit of a stretch, but this safety car should help him save these softs for a few laps.
Yeah, and then you could potentially, we've got 24 laps left. 2 sets of 12s. Yeah, you could get the softs, definitely. Yeah, you could do 2 sets of softs, as you say. You could it'll save the softs an extra lap or 2 behind the safety car. And at this point, we should be going to our world-renowned segment of safety car chat.
Which topic would you like to pick today, Mark? Do you want to pick a Mexican topic, or do you want to pick the real-life F1 chat?
Well, I think we did the F1 chat last time out, didn't we? So we may have to go with Mexico topic.
Well, we've had a few developments since last time we talked about the real-life F1 cars.
There has. We've now got the side podless Mercedes. That are now under scrutiny for their wing mirror design. Which, is that a Karen Horner thing? Or I think a few teams have actually said it, to be honest.
Yeah, there's been a few different takes on it as far as I've read, because from the article I read, it was a gentleman's agreement that they weren't going to use the wing mirrors for aerodynamic reasons.
Yes.
But as somebody said in the Discord this morning, it's for the safety side of things. So it's definitely an interesting one.
I agree on both, because it is very aerodynamic. The plane, if you like, that the wing mirrors are mounted to. But without using side pods and where they are situated, you're going to have to use something that's strong enough for the turbulence of the air. So you're going to have to do something to mount them.
Yeah. It's one of those things that obviously the FIA's approved the mods to the Mercedes. I just don't. It's just that the other teams are not liking what they're seeing.
There's another one where I think teams are running scared again. I think that's where it comes into it. And if it was, let's say, a midfield team, let's say the Aston Martin had come up with that, I don't think there would be as much complaining as there is with one of the top teams.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that the Mercedes customer cars haven't had a similar upgrade, though.
Is that because you want a Mercedes? And you would like that, but you're right. Yeah, but I think it's just because each team has their own version of what they want to do with the car that they haven't needed to. As Manfred Wolf gets us going, but Vince all over the back, already right under the rear wing of that Mercedes, pulls out to the inside. The safety car in. Now we've got Melvin as well trying to get in on the battle. I think he got sandwiched a little bit, but there we are. Vince, is he going to try and take a little bit of contact? Is that going to leave the Mercedes vulnerable to the Haas? It's not. And now Vince just get past, but there we go, man. Full spins outside of turn 3, tries to get the power down. Tyres not up to temperature yet. Oh, they're going to be boiling hot now. They're going to be fried and cooked and steaming. Now he's had to spin the round, but that was, well, there was no contact at that point, and just got the turbulent air, put his foot down a little bit trigger happy, and stepped too much on the loud pedal. As we've got Stefano Dan and TJ in the pit, Perjmeister and Johnny Smooth have also pitted as well.
Geke Matthews definitely showing that those 13 laps off, so have not got the grip levels as the fresher mediums.
Yeah, definitely. We've had Night Shadow go through and trying to keep up with Red Car Rambo. Carl all over the back as he's also going for a move on the other Ferrari and the... well, he's actually gone on the other Red Bull. Sorry, apologies. See, I nearly thought he was in Red Bull then. As he goes into the chicane, is he going to go into the hairpin? He's now on the outside of the next two corners. There's a little bit of wheel banging there. It wasn't really the place. Well, yeah, one of those. It was quite a good move, to be fair. I've got to give him that one. Definitely have to give him that one.
Definitely an optimistic one. It's not the usual sort of overtaking place.
It's not, and that's put Bakmizo on the back foot as already Chelsea gets the run and gets past as well in the Aston Martin. We've seen those guys have a battle before. And yet, here we are again, but Bakmizo not giving up. He's going to hang it around the outside of turn 1, gets inside of turn 2 and successfully defends that one. No DRS yet, folks, as there's an Aston Martin gone round. That's Chelsea. Chelsea has spun as well. Medium tyres. You're right about the medium tyres. They don't seem to be, for the first couple of laps, people aren't enjoying them.
No, for some reason, the medium tyres just aren't a very good race tyre around here. It's one of those where you just need them to, like... like a gap filler between the soft runs.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they're okay once they settle down and you learn where the grip is and the grip levels. As the Bakmizo takes Geke Matthew.
I don't think Geke Matthew's enjoying those old softs. He's struggling in the brake zones and having to lift off super early.
Yeah, he is. You're right. He can't put the power down full either. Coming out of a third gear corner. DRS is enabled. Melvin's within the second. He will get it later on this lap. Not just yet though, because of the way the DRS detection point is. But Bakmizo's still going round. He hasn't pitted yet, but he will be at the mercy of Kellogg and Rob Smith. And even Gibbon. All close. There's going to be a little DRS train as well with E17 on the background of all this.
Oh, it's Melvin's got a 3-second penalty.
Oh, that's going to play mega towards the end. As Kellogg tries to go on and does. You're right about him lifting off early. Kellogg goes round the outside into turn 1. He's on 8 laps on those softs, so they'll be feeling that towards the end of their life as well. But now Rob Smith is having a look at Geke Matthew already alongside. Won't have the DRS just yet, so this is pure pace, and who can break later? Rob Smith decides to think better of it. He's on the outside. Is he going to try to do a little switchback and get the run into the right-hander? No, Geke Matthew just about blocks that off, and Rob thinks better of it. Saves it for later in the lap, but not even that much later. He's going to have a go, is he? No, thinks of it again.
I thought he was going to go for that dive there.
I did. I honestly did, but thinks better of it. Keeps it behind through the S's. As E17 goes a little bit wide behind, but he managed to keep the pace. As it might have been a little tap there, as you mentioned, because Geke has to lift off. Already the Alpine, and now we've got both Alfa Romeos, as Carl now sets the fastest lap of the race. Well, he's got fresh softs, so he is going to be quicker. Alpine taking a wide line out of the last corner, trying to keep the speed, trying to get the run on the hapless Red Bull, who's, the overspeed was astronomically different. Quite an easy overtake for the Alpine man. 5 laps on those mediums, they'll go long.
Melvin's all over the back of Bakmizo.
Where we missed that? Yes, sorry, Melvin, there he is. He's had a moment. He was in second and he's had a moment and gone round. We've missed it totally.
Yeah, obviously. The
excitement of the battle.
It's Matthew fights.
He was, because he was all over the back of Vince. He was in the DRS zone of Vince and he's had a moment somewhere and gone round. Now back in 6th position. Night Shadow struggling to keep up with Red Car Rambo. Now Carl all over the back of the Banshee. As he takes the deep line through it. And Carl, that was just like opening the door. Come on through, my friend, come on through. And he does, and Night Shadow gets a 3-second penalty for his troubles as well. But he is going to have the DRS. So is he going to have the overall speed to get back? DRS wide open, not using the overtake on this occasion, feeling like it doesn't need it. Carl goes defensive very, very early. We're all alongside of the Ferrari. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? It's the Alpine, and he gets back into third.
And he'll get the second DRS as well.
He will, but look at the understeer through there. He runs wide again. Hopefully he didn't get a warning for it. He just had a 3-second penalty.
Setup's obviously just really not working for him for the race pace.
It's not, no. He had really good quality on him, but look at the grip that Carl's got through that section. He's already alongside, going into the double right-hander.
Wow.
And wow, good move, good opportunistic move. Got seriously good traction from those softs.
It's one of those moves where you have to have really good faith in the other driver that they're not just going to turn in on you.
Yeah, because you don't always expect it. That's one of the corners you do not expect that's going to happen there. As Melvin's got past Backmeaser and dropped him already. John Melvin has great pace around here. As E17 gets a penalty, TJ gets a penalty as well. Only one retirement as we're halfway through Tier 4 in Mexico. I nearly did the accent. Had to stop myself from doing it.
You've just got to let it go, just let the accent out.
I did. I don't want to insult anybody. And we said Melvin's flying. There we go. 19-2, fastest lap of the race so far. Let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. We have got Night Shadow with 6 seconds. Melvin, Backmeaser, Kellogg with 3. E17 with 3, Gibbon with 3, Chelsea with Necromancer with 6, Purgemeister with 3. Johnny Smooth had a lot of penalties early on in the fight he was having. He's now got 12 seconds. SFR hasn't come up the field as much as he would have liked. He's now got 3 seconds with Manful Wasp, obviously one of our early leaders. He's got 3 seconds, TJ with 9, and Geki Matthew has now finally pitted and got rid of those soft tyres. And he's onto the hards. Yeah, Johnny Smooth's gone for the hard tyres as well, so they're going for the one stop. They will definitely go to the end.
The mediums would have gone to the end though. It's a weird choice to go for the hards.
Yeah, the mediums will go 18 laps. They're not very good by the end, I'm not gonna lie. As SFR is struggling and Mindful Wasps got past him. As Mindful Wasp tries to get back up the order.
Up at the front, red car's within DRS distance of Vince.
He has, and he's just come around the last corner. He is going to have it. We're going to ride on board with the McLaren man. Is he far enough? Oh, is he close enough, I should say. Look at the wide open. Now, we know Ryan likes to use ERS. He's got 3%. It's his favourite button.
Just can't turn it off.
He can't. He absolutely loves it, and he's using it again to try to get the drive. He's going to have the DRS again. He's not going to be close enough this time round, although that Ferrari does look like it has high drag and a high downforce setup the way that the McLaren was closing him in. Carl now is 4 seconds off this battle. He's dropped Night Shadow. Melvin's going to be closing that gap as well. The red car up 18 places, of course, started at the back of the grid. Carl up 14 places, so this is great from the reserve drivers. They will take a penalty, of course, at the end.
So this is Ryan's second start at the back, obviously, as a reserve driver, because his driving quota was just as good from 20th to 1st.
You?
Me?
It was a driver code.
I wasn't the driver coach, I hate quota.
Yeah. That still keeps me up at night. There we are, he's flashing his ERS, hasn't saved any throughout the lap, so he's pure pace and pure DRS to keep within the Ferrari. Let's have a quick look at Vince. He's got 51%, managing it really well actually. We normally see the lead car, especially in a fight, use more ERS than the car behind, so he's managing it really, really well.
Yeah, ERS is a really difficult one to try and recuperate here as well, so you have to be really really careful about how much you use over a lap, or else it will just run out on you and it's really hard to get any back.
It is, you're right, and even if you're not using the overtake button down that main straight, it does tend to use quite a bit of ERS just because you're on full throttle for such a long time. And even through the middle section, you're not heavy braking to recharge it fully. So you're right, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm one of those people. I like to keep as much ERS as possible and then just use it to attack or defend strategically. And I struggled around here. There was a few points I was, Ryan's situation with 7, but he's there, he's close, he's in the DRS. Is he going to make a move? He does, into the stadium section. What a great move. He had such high grip through that middle sector, which you don't normally see from following, but absolutely fantastic move there from the McLaren man. How much grip is he going to have out of the final corner? He's got 22% of his ERS. Surely he is. He's deploying it now, trying to get the drive, but Vince only 4/10 behind. Surely he's going to be using his, which he is. He's got 60%. DRS wide open. Ryan tries to go defensive, but nothing he can do to stop the resurgent Ferrari coming straight back through and retaking the lead.
Wow, and he's almost like 3/10 up just into the first corner.
Yeah, it is about 6-7 tenths you can gain, and well, actually it was proven there, to be fair, that it is about that. It's how powerful and how long the straight is around here.
Oh, well, blue flag as well. Looks like things are about to get even worse for these two, because it looks like they're about to hit some traffic.
Yeah, that will be... Essentially, there's a virtual safety car deployed. So who is that? Necromancer's gone in the pits in the Haas. Let's see if it's a front nose. It doesn't look like it. No, he's just strategic. Same with SFR, the other McLaren. I'm not sure who that could be, who may have damaged what's brought the virtual safety car out. But this will help Ryan just charge up a little bit. Give me a bit more ERS.
Let's see what he's on. He's managed to get back up to 32.
Yeah, that's really high for Ryan.
Yeah. 13's usually somewhere around where he sits.
The Ferrari pits. Vince has pitted early. Surely he won't be able to get a set of softs. 13, yeah, 13 laps he could, potentially. Let's have a quick look, see what tyres he's going to put on. Another set of the mediums, so he's definitely going safe and playing that one towards the end.
That's a bit of an odd choice. He definitely could have got easy another few laps out of those mediums and then slapped the softs on for the end.
He could, but while the virtual safety car was on, he's only in 5th, and he's not that far behind. So actually, quite gone strategic. Night Shadow's done exactly the same. He's gone for the soft compound tyres, and there it is. New nose for the Prost F1. So that'll be where it is, and now Vince has got a drive-through penalty. Speeding under the VSC, it's gone from bad to worse. He took the gamble for the medium tyres and now caught speeding as well, which I reckon I'll be just outside the pits and didn't get a chance to slow down enough. But Bergen said Gav spun apparently, so that's where it's come from. He's had a moment and he's dropped it now down into 13th. A few drivers will have to pit round him, so he should be back up in the points. But the big loser in all this was our race leader with a drive-through.
It's definitely not what he needed there.
No, he's going to be kicking himself with that.
We've got Ryan having a bit of a fight with some one of the back markers here.
He is, yeah. One of the Williams is, I think it might be Johnny Smooth, not getting out of the way. The other Williams pits there, TJ Vigudio's pitted, and he's not got a front wing either. But this, with Ryan being held up from the back marker, has allowed Carl to come and close the gap. Not quite within DRS when it kicked in. We've got a Red Bull behind as well. That might be Gecky Matthew trying to fight his way back through. As Vince is taking this drive-through penalty, E17 also in the pits. Let's see where Vince is going to come out. He's going to leave the pit lane. He should still come out in 6. He does. But that's going to really drop him off and potentially nullify his charge to track through the field. However, with the position penalties for Carl and Ryan, he could still get up there. Good Vince. He'll take a monster drive. We'll keep an eye on the gaps. He's showing fantastic pace so
Carl
far.
Must have a fair bit of grip in those old softs because he's right on the back of the McLaren.
He is, yeah. And he's got the DRS now. I think Ryan's backed off the last runner. I think it put him off quite a lot at the end of that last lap. But you're right, he has got some grip. You could see the better turning, better traction, even through the slow corners. And he's continuing on his way. Isn't deciding to pit just yet, but he's got half a second further back. He's got a lot more ERS. DRS wide open in the Ferrari. Ryan trying to break the toe. He goes to the outside, goes to the inside, and now there he goes. Carl powers back past, takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Nice and easy for Carl. He's now going to have the second helping of the DRS as well to try and scamper away from the McLaren. And now Ryan gets a 3-second penalty. He went wide outside of turn 3. We just saw it at the back of the screen at the bottom left.
He's doing so well for keeping that nice and clean, but
it was. Wow, nice shadow. That's some pace that he's now got back. He liked those new soft compound tyres. Notorious Gibbons now left. He unfortunately retired early on. He was having a good race and had a little bit of a tank slapper on. As Night Shadow now gets back through Mindful Wasp in the DRS. Those soft compound tyres, using them to full advantage while he can. Let's have a see who may have to pit again. Chelsea, 12 laps on the mediums. Vince is ahead. He's already pitted, as we've seen. So Vince came out 10 seconds behind Rob Smith, and he's already 7.5. He's already taken 2.5 out of him.
Yeah. Vince is one of those times where you've just got to put your foot down.
Yeah, he'll be seeing red in that red car, and after that drive-through, and he'll just be absolutely right, pedal to the metal. As we've got Kellogg ahead and Chelsea teammates close together once again. They're never separated for long, these Aston Martins. We saw it in Tier 3 round Singapore. The Aston Martins had a good little battle, and we've seen it a few times. Night Shadow with another 3-second penalty. It shows how hard he's pushing. He's just outside of the DRS zone, but this now he's got 9 seconds. This sets another fastest lap. He's on it.
I think he's finally got himself into some sort of rhythm around this track after struggling for the past 2 stints.
Yeah, he did, you're right. Especially that second stint, he was just dropping off the back. Didn't seem to have the response in the front of that Alpine Prost F1 car, or whatever we're going to call it. The Rangers F1 car. I'll go with yours.
You can't resist it now.
I can't. You're right, I can't. Look at Vince, he's taking another 2 seconds off as the Aston Martins get nose to tail now. Oh, nudging the other through, but this is now allowing Night Shadow to close, and look at the traction he's gained onto Kellogg's, and he already takes the move into the second section. Now let's have a look. What's the grip like? What's the difference? Has to back out into that section as he nearly went into the back of Chelsea. Kellogg gets a 3-second penalty just in that dirty, yeah. DRS wide open for the boss, and he's got the grip difference. He's going to probably get the move going, would imagine, down the main stretch. Chelsea goes deep into the hairpin. Is he going to have a look into the last corner? Thinks better of it, knows the DRS is coming. As the Aston Martin pits as well to aid Shadow on his way. Bob Smith has pitted. He's now gone on the soft tyres. Melvin has pitted. He's come out and he's on the soft compound tyres. He's right up the back of Vince now. So that drive-through, this is how much it saw Melvin up there earlier. And that drive-through, we had, obviously Melvin had that spin that we missed. And that drive-through just brought him right back into play.
Yeah, I think this little battle here between Vince and Melvin is definitely going to help Ryan and Carl up the front to stay ahead nice and easy.
It is, but Melvin on the soft tyres is going to be interesting to see the grip difference. We've just seen it with Night Shadow and how much speed he had in those early laps, as Melvin almost had a lot of understeer going through there, almost like a 4-wheel drift. But look at this.
Just like a bit of dirty air off the back of Vince.
He was, but he's already trying to make the move into the stadium section, makes it stick. Good overtake, opportunistic move there. But Vince has got a lot more ARS again. Really good management from him all race long, actually. There's Batmizo pits. He's put the set of softs on.
I'm very surprised that Carl and Ryan definitely haven't pitted at the front. 15 laps on softs and 17 on the mediums.
Yeah, they've now got 20 seconds to Melvin. You'd think this would be the lap you would want to pit to try to minimise, as now Vince is going on the inside into turn 1. He had the DRS, but Melvin's hanging it out there. He's trying to get the inside line and keeps the position. The Ferrari had to back off and has lost quite a bit of ground even into the second DRS zone. So Melvin keeps that, gets ahead. And away he goes. Fresh tyres playing dividends there yet again.
Yeah, those softs are definitely going to start eating time into the top 2.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on that gap. That's 20 seconds, the gap. We saw how quickly Vince was catching them. And now we'll see. Is Carl going to pit? Here he is going through the last corner. Is he going to see that? Is he going to go and dive into the pits? He does. Is Ryan going to follow him? Ryan does as well. So there we go. I'm sure they've got us on in the background. They'll be listening to that. It's going to be a straight up fight to the end. But now we're going to ride on board with third place man Melvin. We're going to have a quick look and see as both. Yep, the top two go on to the softs.
Easy choice. What is it? 7 laps to do on the set of softs.
Yep. They'll have pure power, but they're still trudging down the pit lane. Speed limiters on. And now Melvin, is he going to come through and take the lead? There's bit ahead. Not fully up to speed yet. But he'll see Melvin coming. The Haas man as here we go. Side by side into turn 1. Who's going to have it as Ryan and the further Ferrari are battling away with Vince in the background. Melvin can't make it. Moves. Carl keeps the lead just. So 20 seconds it costs for a pit stop. And we know.
Yeah, it was... definitely close coming out the pits between Carl and Melvin and Ryan and Vince. Yeah, there was a little bit of wheel banging as with Ryan and Vince. I don't know if Ryan kind of saw him there as he was coming out trying to defend. But he's made a stick, and now let's see how quick we can get those soft tyres switched on and see if he can pull away from the Ferrari or even drag him with him as he closes into Melvin. Let's see if Melvin can get past the wing bender. Or will the Ferrari man be able to keep him behind? Inspector Carl, he's definitely going to hold on to that lead as much as he can.
He will, but he knows about weaving down the straights. He knows about being aggressive on defence. But he seems to have a good drive out the last corner using his DRS. Melvin's going to have his DRS wide open, trying to get the slipstream. Carl goes right, then he goes left, then he goes to the middle of the track, using all of his ERS to keep him. Melvin's not got any left at all, so he's not going to be close enough this time. And he goes in for it into turn 1, has to take the curb. Carl has to take avoiding action, but Melvin gets the place. That was late. That was seriously late on the brakes. Got it stopped though.
I tell you what, that dive's cost him a lot of time to Ryan, who's gained half a second just through that one little section.
Wow. But I think Melvin, he knows Carl's going to get a penalty. He knows Ryan's going to get the penalty for being Tier 3 and Tier 2 drivers. His battle is with Vince. As now Carl's, he's actually, Melvin's let him back past actually for that, so good driving. I fully commend that.
Yeah, it's not something you'd usually optionally do, so it's good sportsmanship to let Carl back past.
It is. Now he's got a penalty as well. He's now got 6 seconds to his name. So this battle with Carl is really, really hampering him. We know he's got the soft tyres on. 6 seconds left. We know he's got the pace. Vince has dropped to 1.3 off the back, so that's 2 seconds now he's behind Melvin. Melvin needs another 4 seconds. He needs to get past Carl, but he's dropped through that last sector. Doesn't get the DRS this time.
But Ryan has in that McLaren.
He does. And he's still got plenty of ERS left.
Not for long.
But this is it now. Melvin needs to get past Carl if he wants a chance at the victory. That's where it's come down to. Vince needs to just hang on to the back. He'll know Melvin's got 6 seconds, and this is where it's all boiling down to now. Did Ryan have a glitch? I think Ryan actually slowed down in the middle of that straight there.
Yeah, it seems like it nipped off momentarily. It was definitely unusual.
I mean, it could be the dog. Could be the dog chewing him again.
Oh, I'm sure if anybody's in a party with Ryan, if it was the dog, he'll be hearing Delilah getting shouted.
Oh, you certainly will. There'll be a lot of expletives coming. If people don't know, Ryan has got a little, and his partner have got a little puppy who loves to chew the wires and the plugs of a certain gentleman's PlayStation and wheel setup. Nothing else. Doesn't eat anything else in the house. Just that. But Melvin's now back within the DRS. Ryan's dropped massively now, and he's under pressure now from Vince, but we're going to stick on this one for now. Is Melvin going to be close enough? Kind of feel he's a little bit too far back down the straight. He is, but Vince is almost alongside Ryan. This is the battle for technically what will be second on track, and he does. He makes that move stick and breaks nice and gets to the apex of turn 1. And he'll be on his way hunting down the Haas man. This is going to put Melvin really under pressure. He needs to make the move on Carl. He needs to scamper away. 4 laps left of Tier 4 around Mexico as Carl tries to get past the Red Bull and does. I think it might be Geki Matthew being lapped.
So it's really close here between Ryan and Vince.
There's Ryan's not giving up.
The grip difference between these two tyres is just unreal at this track.
It is. We've seen it there. Vince still can't. He's still backed off a little bit, hasn't he? He's now 3 seconds further back and can't make headway onto these top 2. He doesn't need to. He just needs to be within in 6 seconds. But you gotta say he's dropped another half second. He's dropping time left, right, and centre here. So Melvin needs to push on, which he is doing. He wants to get past Carl, but Carl's got good pace.
Yeah, Carl's loving life in that Ferrari at the front.
I don't think he'd be asking for a transfer though. 4.6. Those medium tyres are really struggling. They're quite fresh as well. As now Ryan's got back past as well. He's now got back past Vince. I mean, this is a great race from both Carl and Melvin, coming from right at the back of the grid. This is superb, but only 3 drivers, Carl, Vince and Luke Shaw, down in 16th. They have not got penalties. Night Shadow running in 6th, and he can have on his own now. He had that fantastic pace. So there's a virtual safety car. Where has that? What's happened on track? Someone had a spin, or someone got damage. Not sure, but this is going to... Well, who's it going to help most? The gap now is over 6 seconds from Melvin to Vince. That is, like, vital.
Yeah, I think it's helped Melvin a lot there that it's a virtual and not a full safety car. But, like you said, I don't know where it's come from, because no one seems to have lost any places.
I think it's Johnny Smooth, the Williams, no front wing on that Williams. He had such a good... that's a bit unfair. But he did cut good. And, yeah, he was having such a good opening stint as well, Johnny Smooth. It's just seemed to have gone downhill for him, and that's really unfortunate. So he's had to pit for a new wing, down in 17th. Necromancer, he had a good opening stint as well. SFR hasn't seemed to make headway that his teammate did.
But yeah, Ryan also seems to have dropped well off the back of Melvin now.
He does. Virtual safety car still in effect. We don't get told when it's ending. It does seem to end. There we go, it ends, and there Kellogg gets the drive-through penalty for his troubles. And he's in 9th as well. That is surely going to drop him way outside of the points, and it's going to promote his teammate of all people into the points. They've been battling most of the race. It's the biggest gap I think those two have had all race. E17 in there as well in close company. But now this is the battle. This is the battle now for the lead. Ryan over 6 seconds further back from Melvin. This is imperative for Vince to use the medium tyres. See if he's got any grip left. As again, Ryan battling with the Red Bull of Geki Matthew will not let him past. Is going to really be putting him off, and that will hamper him in that battle.
Oh, Vince has got a penalty.
He has now. Vince has got it. So it's really imperative to get past. But I don't think he's not going to be close enough now. That almost seals the deal, you would have to say at this stage. I mean, there's plenty of commentators' curses going around.
Yeah.
And even that gap at the front, Melvin's dropped off the back of Carl. So the closest battle on track is down in 14th with SFR on the back of Purgemeister. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. There seems to be a lot cropping up now. Melvin 6 seconds, Ryan 3, Vince 3, back Mizo in 5th. He's had a lot of action early on, and he seems to have backed off as Kellogg is now he's taken his drive-through penalty. 9 seconds for him. Chelsea there, his teammate is promoted into 10th. Night Shadow on his own in 6th. He had a lot of battles early on, and it seemed to have... the cars he's battling with have disappeared from around him. And he's on his own. He's lonely end to the race for the Prost F1. His teammate, Rob Smith, in 7th. Man for Wasp in 8th currently. E17 and Chelsea rounding out the top 10 with a variety of penalties. Looking at the state of play, Night Shadow is at risk of losing that 6th to his teammate, and he is. Rob Smith 2.7 further back, and he's got 3 seconds less. So that one's going to play in.
Oh, he's just made the 3 seconds there.
He has, he's got back again. This is going to, I think that might go on, well, that gap might go on to the end. You'd have to say. There's now Melvin all over the back. He's got DRS. He's using all of his ERS in a push to pass and a big bid to get past Carl for the outright lead and the win of this race. Is he going to be close? He runs a little bit wide. It's nothing on there. Both drivers flashing the ERS. Both drivers have got nothing left. But Melvin's got the ERS. Is he going to get... Oh, he can't. He's not close enough. Decides to hold off. Will he try and use the tyres later on? Runs wide again. I think he must have just lost all grip now. He's done 8 laps on them, so he'll have gone through that end phase of the tyres, won't he now?
Yeah. Carl with those 2 laps fresher soft, you can just see he's just driving off.
He is now in that middle sector. Yeah.
He'll be loving life.
He will. He will. Full credit to Man for Wasp down there in 8th. He's done 19 laps on those medium tyres. That's a fantastic stint on those.
That's a ballsy drive, that. It must be like driving on ice.
Yeah, that is not going to be fun. But he's only 1.5 behind Rob Smith as well, who's now 2.7 further back from his teammate. But on track it is going to be the Ferrari man, the Red Bull man, the wingbender. Inspector Carl takes the win. Tier 4 in Mexico. Melvin takes second on track. That will be promoted to the race victory. Ryan takes third. What a fantastic drive. Stunning drive from the back of the grid. Vince takes 4th in the end on track. Back Mizo takes 5th, only 3.9 further back as well, so he did well to kind of hang on to the back of the top 4. Night Shadow, he takes 6th in the end, just keeps ahead of his teammate. And now Mindful Wasp does get the place from Rob Smith. Mindful Wasp finishes 7th. He's 17, finishes 8th. Rob Smith gets down to 9th. Now Chelsea finishes in the points, as we mentioned, ahead of his teammate, who's finally going through the last sector and the last corner. Unfortunate for him, he was running in the points a lot of this race, and that's drive-through penalty right at the end.
Purgemeister's like facing the wrong way. Energy Dan spinning out the last corner.
Oh, I see. Well, there we go. Purgemeister finishes 12th, Gibbon 13. SFR does get across the line in 14th. Necromancer coming across in 15th. Luke Shard will finish behind him in 16th after penalties. I don't think Luke's got any, so this will be interesting. See where he gets as he's used all his deployment that lap. And Luke Shard crosses, and he gets the place. Geki Matthew and Johnny Smooth, the lapped drivers, and of course TJ and Taurus Kevin, non-finishers. That battle at the front was extraordinary.
Yeah,
what a great race.
Fantastic 4-way battle towards the end there for the podium positions.
It was, and we saw few virtual safety cars, only one full safety car, which was quite nice to see, to be perfectly honest. So quite clean from the Tier 4 drivers, but still fantastic on-track action. We saw battles, especially in that first part of the race. That was just nose to tail all the way through.
Yeah, some fantastic driving all up and down the grid, to be fair. Night Shadow did a great recovery drive for his last stint there on those softs to get the fastest lap as well.
He did, yeah. That's going to help him in his championship battle and trying to be as competitive as he possibly can. He's had a little bit of bad luck early this season, so he's going to be... I know he's complaining to his team manager about his front wing in the early parts, but it's still he's going to have to take confidence from that. He's really fast lap at a good 7/10 quicker than anybody else managed throughout that race, so yeah, he's definitely going to be happy with that. And good win from Carl as well. Battle from 17th, Melvin from 3rd, Ryan from last on the grid takes the final podium spot as well. So that was just... Vince showed great pace as well early on.
Yeah, I think if Vince had slapped those softs on for that last stint, I think he would have put him in a much better place in those last few battles he was in. But
yeah, you could see the grip difference, couldn't you, and the traction that Ryan had, and how they were able to keep battling until the checkered flag fell.
Yeah, but he did well to battle against the McLaren. Just got a bit unlucky, I think.
Yeah, he did. And that, as we mentioned, does play a big part in it. And it did again. So there we are, folks. Carl takes the win on track. Penalty will demote him. So Melvin will take the victory Vince will eventually take second place once everything has ironed itself out, of course. Those results are still only provisional. There are stewards' inquiries to be looked at, I'm sure, throughout this evening. So we will be with you with the results. They will be up on the Discord in due course. But that is it from Mexico for MRC this season. Join us next week. We are in Brazil, where we are fighting at the home of the legend that is Ayrton Senna. And some fantastic races there. Do check them out, and I'm sure there will be action galore throughout MRC. We will be there Monday evening at 7 o'clock for Tier 2, with Tier 1 after that as well. And then join us on Wednesday for Tier 3 and Tier 4. Will we have rain? Well, let's hope not. But we will sure of one thing, and that is going to be high action and high drama. Thank you very much, Morgan. Been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a great race. Thanks for having me as always.
Of course, my friend, of course. And thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Monday, where the Banshee himself will be giving us all the action from Tier 2. So join us there, 7 o'clock. Thanks very much for watching, and good night.